got you first on the agenda.
Okay.
I don't know if, are they with you or do they want to sit up here too?
Yeah, do you want to come to the people or?
Got room for one more.
Somebody here.
No, Sherry might come.
She should be here, I would think.
What's this, October 17th? No.
21st.
21st.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers.
This could be way too much
Boy.
more. Okay. Well, thank you for giving us some time. We wanted to put some come to the select board meeting about a project that you may or may not have heard of. Has anybody heard of the Vermont Youth Project?
Only from your email.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been kind of spreading the word about it. It was in the newspaper a little while ago, so some people read it in the messenger. So the Vermont Youth Project is a 5-year positive youth development project that 6 communities in Vermont and actually in the United States will be participating in this year. It's based on the Iceland model. Is anybody familiar with that Iceland model or Planet Youth? Okay. So they've been doing it for over 20 years now. And when they started doing this youth development work, they found more than a 75% reduction in substance use among minors. So on the one level, it's basic youth development work, but on the other, it's also substance prevention as well. It starts with a survey that is done at the middle and high school level. And which is kind of similar to the YRBS that they do every other year, but with this, we get the results back in about 8 weeks. So we've already had the survey done at Richford and Enosburg Middle High Schools, and so mid-December we'll be having the results to seeing what the youth perception is on the community, and then going forward we'll be having some community meetings and talk about what we can do in the 2 different communities to address some of the needs that the youth say that they have. Don't know if you want to add anything to that.
So I'm going to chat a little bit about like the Iceland model and what it does in Iceland. Over 20 years ago, they had a huge problem with youth drinking alcohol. About 95% of the students would drink at least once in the last 30 days, and that could run into problems. And they were out and about, and my mother always used to say, if you're out after midnight, you're probably up to no good. And so there was a lot of other things that were going along with the substance use. And so they looked at what youth were doing and where they were doing it and why they were doing it. And they did a lot of survey of just the kids, and in this case, 10th graders, about whether they feel valued, what they like to do, whether they fit into the community, and how they viewed the world, not only in school, out of school, but in their family. So they asked a lot of questions over pretty much the 24-hour period. And then they went and they gathered all that information, and then they brought it back to the community and basically said, what do we want to do? Because we can't keep doing what we're doing because it's not working. And so what they chose to do, and what's become the Iceland model, is they've looked at community culture, norms, and attitudes, which is all the stuff that we do every day that we don't know that we're doing. We just keep doing it because it's just the way we are. It's all that stuff that's baked into the pie. So taking that, unpacking it as a community, and then deciding what the community would like to do to make those changes. And some of the things that they did in Iceland and 26 other countries were the first community in the United States to do that. And I think we're ideally situated because the population of Iceland is half the population of our state. So I was like, this is, close. We're not going with 10 million people in New York City did this and we can do it. It really was set out to work with smaller communities. And so these communities took this information and decided what they wanted to do. And some communities had said, we want our children, as a group, a new group norm that they should be home around 10 o'clock, unless they're out working, milking cows late, doing whatever it is they do. That's true. And it's not that we're going to go around, that you would go around and say, you're out past 10, you're out past 10. But as a community, as adults, we would help all make group agreements. Maybe we should all be home by 10. And change our culture that way. So changing the flavor of the pie, so to speak. And so what we're asking over the next 5 years is that you help support that change, and along with parents, school, any kind of after-school activities, right down to whether it's a soccer camp or I don't know, dance,
cooking
yoga,
group.
cooking group. It doesn't matter what it is, right? That we're all on the same page with this. Because one of the things that's happened over the last few years is the rate of substance use has crept up, and in particular in the last couple of years jumped significantly for our youth. And for me, what's concerning is that as we move towards that, what becomes normal becomes part of the way that we live, gets also baked into the pie. And that's not really the numbers we want. And, I can't say that marijuana will be legal, but anything that becomes legal becomes more lethal. And our youth are always the folks that suffer the most. That idea of being young and impulsive. My mother would say, "You're young and dumb," and I grew up with a lot of brothers, and I have a few teenagers, so I see that, and it's mostly because they're adolescent and they're young, and so how do we protect that so that we can get them to their adulthood and have that success? It's really just creating a community where our children have the best opportunity to reach their own greatness. Not because we're doing anything, but just helping to sort of build those connections and those investment in our kids. It's our greatest resource. So.
Heather had said something about 2 communities. Is that Richford and Enosburg?
Yes, Richford and Enosburg are participating in it. So in Franklin County, so we have the Enosburg and the Richford 2 communities in Missisquoi Valley. So Swanton is also participating in it as well. And one of
But
the
there's
things,
only 6 towns in the whole state that are doing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or in the whole United States?
Both.
Both. Only 6 towns in Vermont, and those 6 towns are the only ones in the United States.
Yeah, so we're the
What
we're the
prompted
first.
this? Is it a grant?
The Vermont After School, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps support after school programming, they have been working very closely with the folks from Planet Youth in Iceland about this project. Their executive director's been over there, I want to say twice now, to Iceland to see firsthand what they do with their project. And so they are the ones that wrote the MOU with Planet Youth and kind of adapted it so that it is more personal to Vermont and our communities. And they have provided the first year with the surveys free and then a minimal charge for surveys.
Did anyone ever mention to you in this school district where I taught for 30 years that about 10 years ago we did the similar project?
I've heard that there's been a very similar process.
Very
yes,
similar.
very
Because
similar.
every year we did the drug and alcohol test. I don't know if it was through VSAC or through, but every year the kids took the test and then we compiled the results and then we had meetings with the community. And then we had after school programs and et cetera. So it sounds very, very much the same.
And the youth risk behavior survey is really monitoring data because
Yes, it is.
it takes forever to get back.
I know
And
that, yeah.
As a
We did it
prevention
every
consultant,
year, yeah.
it's hard to be able to go back to in school
It
and
is.
say, so now
Because
that these children
usually it's a
have
different group of
graduated-
kids that are gone because I
Yeah.
taught 12th grade, so they
yeah.
were gone anyway.
Right. So
Right.
this is that 8-week turnaround.
But it's a similar, very, very similar.
yeah.
And it also focuses
Very.
on protective factors more so, community perceptions than the YRBS too. So yeah, a lot of similarities, and one of the reasons we felt that Richford was a good community to do this project in is there's already a lot of positive work that's already happening in the community. Last year's the bike share program,
Summer camps.
the increasings of the summer camps, and there's a park. Recently, playground. Sorry, I keep calling it a park. Playground recently. So there's been a lot of positive youth. The Promising Communities Promise Grant. So there's already a lot of work that's been going on in Richford. So this is just a little bit more of the same. And it's a 5-year direction. And the great thing with the surveys is that we'll constantly have a checking point of the progress that's happening.
Where are you out of? Where's your office?
I am part of the supervisory union, so
Over here.
I'm just down the road. Yeah, so I'm also the after-school program director.
So do you live in Richford?
I live in Enosburg.
Enosburg.
Yep. Yeah.
Has there been any discussion with the school board about this, or like Beth at the high school?
Yep. Yep. I talked to Beth before. I went on the. We looked into this, and I met with the supervisory union school board.
So the school kind of helps administer it and make sure that things are getting done that need to get done.
They administered the surveys, but then it's up to. I'm the community lead. Mary's one of the community partner leads. And like the community in general to like keep the program going. It's not really a school program; it's a community program.
It is a grant, though. 5-year grant.
It's a
It must be
5-year
funded.
agreement.
Yes. So yeah. So
Not that there's any, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, how are we paying for this?
About 2 years ago, an article came out in a magazine, and several of us happened to read the article, and we all literally came together and went, "Did you see this article?"
Yeah.
And so over the last couple of years, we have been trying to figure out how to make this work. And so rather than asking for a grant, what we've done is we've taken bits of money, shifted money from several grants to make this happen. And so yes, it's grant funded, but not in a way where we had to write for one specifically for this.
Yeah, and because we have a lot of community partners on board with this, Franklin County Caring Communities, Notch, Rise Vermont. So it's a way for some of the prevention partners to focus some of their efforts too.
Are you involved in Northwest Counseling?
I participate in the
Just
monthly
because
meetings.
it's Iceland, Andrea Pierzo from Richford is in Iceland right now for her job, and I didn't know if she had anything to do with this.
I don't know.
But if you don't know,
one of the
then it's
things
not your.
is that through all of this it's the folks in the community that make the decisions. My family's from County Mayo, and Ireland has just recently done it, and my family's community did that, and they sent the school report, and they had the whole big report, but they had they had created something that were all the agreements that many of the community members said that this would be helpful. And one of the things was like, children are up too late, so they had a little guide. If you're this age, you should be in bed by this time, and things like that. And then they shifted some school time around. They made more opportunities for different after-school activities because parents and other community members were donating their time to make these things happen. And that was all those little investments. So it's not always, there's a lot of things that can be done without having to put money into it, but it's just shifting the way that we do the things that we do. My childhood is very different than the childhood I have for my kids. And I've worked hard to provide all of those things. We have like every ball, everything in a huge field. Yeah, and my house is always filled with kids, but it's the only house that I know in my area that is that place. And so how do we, I'm not going to say shift that back, but how do we get back to that the kids are connecting with each other in a way that's
Get rid of the
positive?
cell phones.
Well, yeah, I just yelled at them today and realized that they were all playing on the
On
same
their
team.
together, but
On the same team, so yeah.
Apart, yeah.
I have to watch myself. But yeah.
So as far as being positive about it, what do you need from the select board for your help with it, other than just?
You're well, I think what I look at for you guys is one, knowing that we're in the community doing that, but also what can you contribute around ideas and what, I'm not from this community, so I tend to be around and go, well, what do you think? How can I help you make that happen? So my end is really like helping you create the world that you want for your children.
Have you thought of like trying to get a group or a board of parents from the schools together
Yes.
and go about it that way?
Yep.
Yeah.
Normally, we try to do a lot more prep time before we do the survey and stuff like that, except our first meeting to learn about what our communities were going to do along with the other ones. We were also told that we had to give the survey within the next 3 weeks, which was not it was not the way. So now we're going back and saying we give
Can you
this.
get it and not give it till you're ready, or do you have to give it when you get it?
We had to do it within a certain period of time so
Right.
we could get the information back before
in time,
Christmas,
yeah.
which was really like, okay, we want to do that, so then we can all mull over it. So I know we had lots of
Yeah.
conversations. Like, I don't like doing it. I'd rather be out in the community first and then do it. But I also don't want to delay it another month.
And we have had opportunities. We've been at open houses. I was at the Enosburg Eats. We had time at the high school that we notified parents that we were going to be there, available to answer questions. So we've been kind of sort of grassrooting, so to speak, going to little meetings. Because I also, after spending a lot of time trying to get community meetings for various things, people don't want to come to something they don't know about. So I'm just trying to meet people where they are right now and go to their meetings and give them some information. But we will be starting to have community meetings around December or January, where they're larger community meetings. I did get a grant to be able to provide some food and childcare so that people can come and not have to worry about dinner.
I organized the after-school activities for when we did it at Enosburg years ago.
Nice.
We had photography and all this stuff, but we also had a grant, an after-school program grant. Is that grant still
Yep.
around now?
Yep. We just this is the first year of a new 5-year cycle.
Okay.
Yep.
So will you get to use some of that money?
We will be able to adapt the use of our money.
Okay.
Yep. To meet the needs that the kids are presenting. And I did actually recently get a grant. We now have an after-school program at the Richford Junior Senior High School now. It's not a 21C grant. I wrote a completely different grant for it.
I mean, we had mostly volunteers do it. We did ballroom dancing, we did cooking, we did all this stuff.
Yep.
But you had to have some money for materials for some of the
Right. Yep.
knitting,
Yep.
say. Or
Yep. The programs just keep expanding and
Yeah.
keep enriching and.
So you can use that money, or you can adapt it.
Yep. We can. We'll take the survey done and we might make some changes. Yeah.
And for Swanton and then the Enosburg Richford area, I mean, really the reason that the grants are here is because these are the folks that jumped on it. I live in another community in Franklin County and I couldn't even get in the front door. And so I was like, oh well, maybe the next round, but
Maybe if they see that we're doing it here, though.
well, yeah, I mean, that's nice. And that's
Because
my
you want
hope.
to do some publicity when you start doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want, I think our whole goal is that the community you create around your children is the things that you're going to keep going with, because, I don't know, I look at it, if we're not here, this needs to still go on. Because your children are our most valuable asset. And we have a lot of them here.
Maybe you could ask Beth for a list of some parents to contact that maybe,
Yeah.
she might be able to give you a list of
Yep,
some parents that are involved in other things that might be interested in.
yep,
Need some kids too.
yes.
Yep.
And that's why it's not called the
The Vermont.
Icelandic,
The
Icelandic model, it's called Planet Youth, because we wanted
it was
that
Planet
Yeah.
Youth. Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
youth.
We've
involvement.
been taking some parts of some things that they do in Finland too, which is kind of wrapped around in this, where the Finland youth participate in a participatory budgeting process. They have a youth council where 13-year-olds to 17-year-olds can participate, and they don't have a vote, but they sit in on local boards in their government, and they actually have conversations about like different policies and stuff. So the Vermont Youth Project is kind of looking in at the youth direction
Yeah, I
as
used to have
well.
a kid on the select board all the time. Not on it, but at
Yeah.
the meetings to give their opinions.
Nice.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of that.
Just
like
now
just
they're
in
starting it
general.
again, so maybe this time
Yeah.
it'll catch hold.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
also
change our culture and norms, it just becomes
Yeah, there
the
you
way it
go.
is.
I have a handout about the survey too, if you want to. Two or three. There you go. Yeah.
Okay,
If there's any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Well, why don't you give me your email,
Not really, I guess.
It should be on.
one of those papers?
Yep, it's on the back of this handout. Yep, that one right.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Are you there every day?
Oh, Most days. Yeah, email is definitely a fantastic way to get a hold of me because I have 8 after school sites now, so I'm on the road a decent amount. But yeah, and I
I think
hope
I'm good.
great. And so hopefully
you for coming.
thank you. Yeah, when we have the community meetings, we can see some of you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
Bring a
let,
friend.
Yes.
Been a friend.
let me give,
I don't have any friends.
let me just give you my email.
Sure.
I'm
And if you want anything posted on any of our,
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been at this a long time. There's not too much that I'm really excited about, but I'm really excited about this.
yeah.
Yeah. Because so much of the work is always a targeted population over a specific substance for a specific age, and often we're already too late. And it's way more than just the thing. It's all the other pieces in there.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time debating if it was just going to be 10th graders, if it was just going to be high school. We decided to
You
start at
start
7th
early,
grade
yeah,
so we
it's-
could get onset data.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll just present the 10th grade data, but we'll have all the raw data for the other stuff that we can pick through. It'll
Thank
be
you.
great as we do this every year. So those 7th graders, by the time they're seniors, will have 5 years worth of goodies. Or I
Just
think
we
saying.
have a
no.
Facebook page that we
Okay.
can post it on if,
Oh, awesome.
when you get ready for your meetings.
Yep.
perfect.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming.
Take a brownie.
Apricot something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a little high in the sugar. A little jittery. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Oh, which one spoke? Heather. No.
Oh, Mary?
Mary, yeah. I've got the names, but I didn't know which was which.
Alan?
First thing is, I know we just finished up collecting taxes here, but we're kind of getting our ducks in a row to get ready to send properties to tax sale for those folks that aren't able to pay their taxes. We're not gonna be sending them probably till the end of February or March. But Vaughn, who we usually use to do the tax sale, needs it in the select board minutes that they're okay using his office to do the tax sale for us. To me, it makes sense. Kylie's gonna be making a lot of trips to Enosburg, so it's closer to go to Enosburg rather than to an attorney in St. Albans.
It's Como, COMO.
Yeah, Vaughn's familiar with the properties that we send. Some get sent every year, is familiar with our process, so wondering if we could,
He did them for us this year, right?
Yeah, but we have to have it in our minutes. I'll make a motion that we hire Von Como to do our
tax
tax sale.
for next year.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
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 My next thing is the fire department payroll. Andy gave me his list. I haven't input it into NEMRIC yet. My practice the last few years with the payroll for the fire department has been to have the select board review it and approve it before I actually put it into our NEMRIC system.
And I
Um,
purchased, where's Brian's name? Brian
Rollins.
We cannot pay him because he's
Right.
Canadian. So I get him a gift card over at John's, so at least it pays for his gas to come down here. He's down in the middle.
Yeah,
It says do not pay, but we get him a gift certificate.
yeah. A few of these other people we don't pay. Andy didn't want to pay the cadets and,
He says it's community service, that's why.
yeah.
This is pay for,
The whole year.
Yep, they get paid once a year.
so what's different on this from last year? Nothing? I thought he was talking about adjusting
That's
the
for
pay
next
rates.
year.
That's gonna be for next
Yeah,
year.
we aren't gonna, and I'll talk to you about that in the budget hearing, and we can either see if it's okay or not. Yeah, this is for the whole of last year. It's actually till December? No. Do we put November, December on next year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's October.
And we're actually gonna come in a little under what we had budgeted, because we had budgeted 20,000 for salaries.
It's only 16.5.
Yeah, and we've paid out 1,000 already, so it's gonna come in right around 18.
Oh, 18, okay. Why would you have paid some early?
We have one firefighter that every once in a while
Needs the money?
needs some
Okay.
money. So,
Well, he's earned it. It's not like,
yeah,
Someone wanna make a motion to accept them? So you just need to get these paid?
yeah,
I'll make a motion to accept the fire, what is it called, the fire
payroll.
payroll.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
Now, are you gonna pay that this week? Cause I wanna give you that gift card to put with the, do you do checks or?
I do, but Andy doesn't give it to them right away. They
Okay,
wait
I'll
till
give it to
their-
Andy then,
They
alright.
have their annual meeting.
And then he gives it.
He
to
gives
me.
them all at
Okay,
the same time.
probably closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, my next thing, is our server. Scott Burleson from Open Approach came and talked to Kylie and I and told us that unfortunately the lifespan of our server has come and gone. We're actually running, I guess, on borrowed time right now. Said the lifespan of a server is about 7 years, and we're a little over 7 years on our server. And I know we didn't budget for it, and I don't like doing things that aren't budget. I think we really need to get a new server.
What's the name of the company?
Open Approach. And I was wondering about getting it this year. Because after we get water bills out, we're hoping to have those out this week. The end of the year is kind of the slowest time of the year for us here. It'd be a good time to do it. Once we get into January with the town report, town meeting, the election, the budget, we're not gonna have a day or two that we're gonna be able to be without our computers. And we really need those computers. We need that server. Without the computers, town doesn't run. We can't collect money.
You have to, you shut it off on the weekends, right?
We log off our computer. The server stays on.
Cause I don't know, there's something messed up with it. Cause if I come in here not on business hours, my computer won't work. I can't send an email, can't receive an
Mine does.
email, can't go on the internet.
Really? You think it was that just that one time?
And it does it every single time.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I don't even bother trying anymore.
Cause I've been in on off hours and
Yeah,
Maybe it's just my computer.
maybe it's your setup.
And that when he comes in, we should have him take a look at it and see what's up with it.
we should.
Because I've had to have Kylie a couple times go on it and send me, because I needed an email that was on there.
Yeah.
And just
I bet
have her
it's
send it to me
your
because
computer, I think it's just,
Probably something.
I thought maybe it was something to do with the server because you had been saying that there was issues with it. And I said, well, maybe that's what it is.
No, it stays on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It should work, your computer should work anytime.
he was good the other day. I lost my whole entire inbox, which is probably 400 emails, and he got it back within an hour. I panicked.
Alan,
And he did
should you
it.
mention that this is part one?
Did it really quick. What'd she say?
Well, we are gonna need some new computers for next year. But I was thinking we could wait, put those in the budget for next year because Windows 7 is going away. We got
Is that
several
what you've got,
computers.
Windows 7?
In that office,
What
yeah.
do I have?
You've got 7. You're gonna need a new
Need to
one.
go to all the 10.
Yep.
Right, Windows 10.
Yeah, it'll be obsolete and they won't be able to repair it.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think it's gonna be, I wouldn't ask for this if I didn't think
much
it
is
was
that?
necessary, but I think if we could get this year, that would be good enough. We'll have to get the new computers in the budget for next year, but the quote he gave me for the new server was $13,359. That's the server, the installation, everything.
It's like $2,000 a year to store all your data.
It's not that bad though.
It's not really.
You're gonna use it for 7 years anyway.
Yeah.
And we might have some money left over. Nah, we'll see.
Like I say, without those computers, we
I know.
do nothing. But, so I was wondering if it would be okay if have a new computer or a new server before the end of the year.
It's just maintenance, isn't it, that we have to do?
I say do it, you have to have
I
it.
guess if
Yeah.
it's something we have to have, we have to have it.
If it goes down, you're gonna be in big trouble.
Trouble.
Yeah,
And they're gonna work with the new computers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's for,
Right.
to get it ready for the new.
I don't think I've seen Alan Garble or something that's just released this. Obviously, he needs it.
I would say if we need it, we need it.
Yep.
Gotta have it.
You on computer up there? The town barn? You have a computer?
We got one.
It's not on our system though, at all.
I guess not, I don't know.
Do you use it?
I don't fool with it much,
Oh.
once in a while. Not
Can
often.
you send emails and stuff on it?
I guess you probably can. I
Oh, you
never
don't
have.
know?
I never have. I do. If I got anything to do, I do it at home.
you should be. He went out, he set that up. You should be able to do everything on your computer in terms of email and everything that we can do here.
I know, I'd rather email you during the day when I can't find you, but if you're not looking at it.
I never.
Do you have an
I
email
never fool with
address?
Cause you got the internet out there, right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the passwords and stuff are. I have to go out and see. I don't fool with that thing any.
Well, then I'm not gonna send you an email. You're not gonna read it. I'll just chase you down.
That's easier.
Yeah, easier for you.
Okay.
So yes, we're getting it. Is that the deal?
I think so.
Minutes, okay.
It has to have it.
Yep,
Wanna actually vote on it?
consensus is good enough. Isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
My next thing is the trailer park.
Looks good down there with those two gone. God, you guys, you would never know there was a trailer there. They're just as clear.
It's nice.
Well, I think we had to send those two trailers to tax sale, and we had to buy them. The folks in those trailers, they weren't paying, and they were no intention of paying.
Right.
And we couldn't just let it go. But we lost
A lot of money.
money, because we had, not only did we not collect the water bills,
No.
but we had to pay to get rid of the trailers. And right now, we've got 8 more. If we were sending for tax sale today, we would be sending 8 more. And we're probably gonna get all 8 when we do send them.
But what's terrible about that is we buy it at tax sale. All we get is a trailer. We don't get the lot of land.
I know.
So then it just opens a window up for the next person to come in and do the same thing
Not
over and
unless
over
we
and over and
enforce the
over.
law and say they have to have a cement pad. They moved that one in.
But still,
Well, I know.
we spent over $5,000 on those 2 trailers, and we didn't have nothing to show for it.
No.
We budgeted the money, but Andy's right.
Yeah.
We'd have nothing to show for that
No, we have nothing.
$5,000.
At least we had houses on the other one.
I would like to recommend to the board that we discontinue metering the water for the trailers in the trailer park on an individual basis.
Yeah, and put 1 meter.
1 meter for the whole
Yeah.
park and bill the
park
park owner.
Yes.
And that way,
He's responsible for collecting his own water.
Right, he
Yeah.
can raise his rents.
and if he doesn't pay the water bill,
Then we can get the whole parcel instead of the one lot that we
instead of the
can never
trailers, we
own.
get the park, the land, everything.
Shut the trailer park down.
Yeah.
So who owns the land over there?
And
Someone
there's some
from
guys in
Burlington.
Essex.
Spillane and Curly.
Spillane.
Of course.
I talked to Daryl and he said it's no problem putting a big meter in for the whole park.
You have to put some type of a vault where it enters it, won't you? And put
They've
the-
already there. That's how it used to be.
Yeah,
Um,
when did they change it? Why?
They changed it on the
8 years
request
ago.
of Lafayette.
8 years ago.
Just 8 years ago?
It
Yeah.
was the craziest
the
thing.
reason?
I don't know
I
what the
remember
reason
that.
was, but it was a big mistake because we've had delinquency problems with everything in the trailer park since that was.
What it was probably the trailer park owner that suggested to do it that way
It's a
because it's
different owner.
saving them money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, but why did we just do it? We weren't that crazy about it, were we? I don't know, were you here then?
No.
I don't remember them changing.
Must have thought it'd be better for some reason doing it that way, apparently, huh?
It was a mistake.
Well, they probably
It was a
thought they were gonna
mistake.
get all these individual,
Yep.
but they didn't realize they weren't gonna get paid. They thought it added up to more, but it probably, only if you pay it.
So the vaults are still there and Daryl doesn't think it'd be that costly to put the big
None of them pay over there?
Well,
Some
yeah, there are
do.
some decent people over there that pay their
There are
bills.
Some,
Very nice trailers and nice inside. I've been in a couple of them.
but the problem is, we can't shut the water off down there because they all have wrenches. They turn it right back on. We put the trailers up for tax sale. Nobody buys them, so we end up buying them, and they're worth less than what's owed on the water.
What was your bills for the dumpsters on them too? We just got rid of. Have you got them
I
yet?
haven't gotten it yet.
How many dumpsters was it? Four
Four.
per.
Five total,
For
3
two.
on one, 2 on the other.
But there was a lot of.
Probably that. How much you think a dumpster?
I have no clue what they were.
At
What
least
were they on
1,000.
the house down here? you
What were they at
remember?
the
I
house?
think they were about 1,000 dumpster.
We got 10 of them for that house down there, right?
Yeah, does it 10?
I think it
It's a
was
lot.
around 10 or.
So you had 5, it's probably gonna be $5,000.
So we paid $5,000,
Right.
and now we just paid another 5. So we got $10,000 invested into 2 trailers that we
No, we got 5,000 invested down there.
just in
Dumpster.
dumpster fees, but we had to buy the property at tax sale.
Well, yeah, but we didn't spend, that's our money.
Plus $1,000 a day for the excavator and time.
We lose a lot of money, trying to use the tax sale
Well,
as
do you
a
wanna
way to
stop doing
enforce
that?
payment.
You wanna stop buying properties or?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to get you wrong here.
No,
We wanna
just
keep
in the
doing
trailer
it.
park.
But it's one thing if when you buy a property and you end up with the land, you can turn around and
Well,
sell
yeah.
the land, or you can turn around and
And we
sell the
sold the house
house,
up
or
there, yeah. Or
but
we
you
could
can't
use the
take
land.
possession of the land.
Well, surprisingly, some of the people that live down there are very happy to have those trailers taken out. They're not.
And what about the other trailer that just got put in with no slab underneath
We
it, and
need
they
to
never got
enforce
a
the
permit?
law. We need to say, get it out of there.
Because the zoning laws state that any new trailer that goes in there has to be a concrete slab underneath it, and they need to get all the permits to do it, and there's no,
John wrote to the owner and they haven't replied. I said, then it's time to have the lawyer say, okay, $200 a day,
Right.
or whatever our fine is. Because it's still sitting there, I noticed today, when I went down to look at the dumpster.
Pieces.
Yeah.
So nobody's actually in it?
No, they moved it in without asking us, and now we got 2 more spots that they can just move in, and according to somebody, the owner just told them, go ahead and move them in. Well, that he has to check with us, and they have to put a cement pad in, which will deter some people from putting a trashy trailer. The pad is worth more than the trailer. So, we need to enforce it. So if John were here tonight, I'd say, do the lawyer, we could also make that decision, and we could just tell him, it's time to go to a lawyer on that. Otherwise, they're gonna start setting it up.
I don't know if we want to have a lawyer review what we're planning, if you approve it, to put 1 meter in for the whole park.
That's what I
I
was
looked through
wondering.
our water
It was
rules,
like that before.
and all our water rules says is that the property owner is responsible for payment.
Well, then 1 meter, I'd say.
There should be.
But
But if we've done it before, why do we have to vote again? I mean, if we agree, it's already been there.
to the lawyer.
I don't think you need to contact a lawyer. I don't see where there
We
would
can
be.
do it, do what we want.
We're the ones selling the water.
It's our water,
You know what I mean? The town owns
and it was like
our
that.
water supply.
Yeah, a lot of meters back.
I mean, we put in water meters every day. We put in the radio reads and stuff.
They will have, what, 20-something radio reads?
Well, they don't have the radio reads in the trailer park.
Oh, they don't? They're all meters?
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them don't even have meters. but
Some of them don't have meters.
Yeah.
They
It'd be better off to have 1 meter.
they tend to disappear.
The water still goes in.
Someone wanna make a motion to do that? I'm good with it.
I'll make a motion to change it over,
To 1 meter?
yeah, for the property owner of the trailer park.
Right.
It'll
Now,
be
do
2
we-
meters, one on either side of the
Okay,
road,
2
right?
meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
You don't
for
think
each
there's any legalities
entrance.
we gotta go through, check with a lawyer on anything to do it, I guess?
we didn't check when we changed it to the singles, did we? While you weren't here?
No,
I don't
but
even remember
we
doing it,
should-
so they must have just done it without telling
We
me.
should probably write a letter and have us look at it, or write something up and send it to the owner, just to notify
Want
him.
me to write it, you mean?
Yeah, or I
lawyer?
can.
Or
Scott,
us.
someone.
You mean local letter? Okay.
Yeah, we should write a letter
We
to,
will. Let's-
to,
To the-
let's
to the
get
owner to let him
this.
know that the changes are gonna be made.
Oh, yeah, and we don't even know when we can do it.
Well, you got a water bill going out this next week, right?
This week, yeah.
We could.
Can Daryl,
Shortly after that, you'll.
can Daryl put that meter in at that same, I don't know what your date is, but at that same,
Start.
it's just a matter of cutting the line and putting 1 meter in, and the rest of the meters don't have
Use
to
the
be.
same kind of meter, like the
It would.
same meter you would use
Well,
in
I'm
a
sure it's
trailer?
bigger.
It would be
Must
bigger
be
because there's
bigger.
more of a
Yeah,
flow
yeah.
going through it.
Okay, so what is the name of that? You made a motion to change the meters on either side of, is there a name for that trailer park?
Pine Haven, isn't it now?
Pine-
Just changed it.
Pine Haven Estates.
Pine Haven Estates. Sounds like a retirement community. Okay,
A, B, and C.
Yep.
I'll second it.
wow, okay, and Jock's second.
So you'll need a meter, there'll be a meter for A and B, that one will be
Meter for
together.
B and C will be together.
A and B and C will be together.
Right,
B and C will be together,
Yeah, and A was on Joey's side.
Yeah.
right.
okay. Is that the north side, yours, and the other is
The old
south?
215 side.
Okay,
It's the east side.
It's the east.
okay, whatever.
Now, that won't do anything about the existing delinquencies on those trailers. So I guess
Got a
we'll
lot.
have to decide at the next year if
Eat that loss
we wanna
again.
buy them at tax sale or just let them go. But going forward, this should,
I wouldn't sweep them under the carpet.
no,
Maybe next time we could pull them out and send them to the crusher. Maybe steel will be up if we have to take them next
Not
year.
much.
There's not much steel on it, it's just the frame underneath them, the rest of it's all junk on
They're
top.
coated with steel, most of them are down there. The old
Yeah.
side panels are
The
all
old-
steel, and then most of them still got galvanized piping
Maybe
in them.
people would want them for hunting camp or something. It'd be easier for us if they just hook on and take them.
Can farmers use it for hay?
You ain't gonna
We just
be able-
want-
Not much
out
use
there.
for one.
Most of those you ain't gonna be able to.
The trouble is, if you give one to someone, they're gonna take it and if it's
Okay.
an eyesore, they're gonna go put it on another piece of lot that's an eyesore.
That's what we decided before.
Better off just to be rid of them.
So these are, if these are all, I mean, are they old water and sewer? Has it been a while?
oh no, that's something
Oh.
different. Now, the water and sewers I was looking at were these, right here.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. But they're all over $1,000. Oh,
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah,
Never pay their water. So we never turn it off, obviously.
well, when we do, they get a
They
wrench and they turn it right back
yeah.
on.
Yeah, the trailer park owns their own wrench.
That meter will be locked, that box. If there's a vault in the ground, he can put a lock on that, so there's no one going in there and turning it on,
But
except for
is it turned on on the
Daryl or
in the
Scott.
underground? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So you can lock that? You can
lock.
lock that.
You actually crawl into a pit on those.
like a concrete bunker in the ground and the
Right, do
pipe
it,
comes
yeah.
into it.
Well, I'm sure it'll
Oh,
stay
he's-
on most of the time. He's gonna have to deal with somebody that doesn't pay him his water
That's right.
now.
That's right. They should. They should be responsible. Okay, so you all in favor on that last one? Did we vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my next thing is, I wanted to talk a little bit about health insurance. November is the month that we have to basically decide on the health insurance plan for next year. Not necessarily budget the money, but what plan do we want? If we don't do anything, Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to, we're just gonna get renewed with the same plan we have right now. But if we do wanna make a change, we do have to make the change in the month of November.
Blue Cross going up?
The rates are going up, I think it was 12%. But what we're gonna be experiencing a much larger increase in the amount of money we're gonna have to budget for the insurance for next year. Not because of rates going up, but what we spend on health insurance always fluctuates a little bit because we do have employee turnover. And different employees have different plans which have different premiums. Just looking at 2020, we've got an ambulance director now that we did not have last year. So we've got one new employee there that we would have to cover with health insurance. Kylie's assistant, we're gonna have to get insurance for that individual. And I think we should budget a family plan without,
Sheila didn't take their insurance.
Sheila didn't take the insurance.
So there's another one.
So there's another one. I'm leaving, Kylie's gonna be taking my place, but,
That's a thing.
you know, I think for Kylie, we should budget the family plan, and I, was on the 2-person plan. So the net result is we're basically insuring more people.
What about Kyle and his family? What do you
Yeah.
have before, who'd he?
Well, he was on the family before, and we'd be looking at the family plan for him again.
Oh, he's already on it, okay.
He took Norman's place, right?
Right, that wasn't a family.
Norman
Norman
was.
went from a 1-person plan to the family, to Kyle.
Right, but
family.
we haven't gone the year yet without Norman, so that's gonna be another,
Right,
Kyle's gonna be another,
yeah,
He'll be a
Family,
family
yeah.
plan versus a single.
right,
yeah.
right.
If we look at what we're gonna spend this year is gonna be right around 150,000 for health insurance. If we look at the same platinum plan for all of our employees for
plan.
next year, we're looking at about $210,000 for health insurance for the year. That's with.
So for 2019, it was 150,000, and then 2020,
Yeah,
it's gonna be 225.
210.
10.
They got like they is that Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
break their plans down.
Yeah.
What plan do we have now?
The best,
We've got the platinum right now.
the top.
If we went with a plan that was a step lower, instead of the platinum plan, we went with the gold, the cost would be 183,000.
What's the
Now,
biggest difference though?
The
for
biggest
employees?
difference is the deductible goes up, goes, but it's still a reasonable deductible. It goes from $350 to $900. All of the other costs go up, like when you go for your medication, it's still not much. Like if you go to your primary care physician, you pay $15. With this plan, it'd be $20 with the gold. Specialty visits, and with this plan, it's $40, it would go up to $50. Everything goes up a little bit,
What was the goal? It'd be 183.
183.
So we'd save
Yeah.
Yeah.
$27,000.
27.
And if we went another step
That's not
lower
that much.
to the silver plan, the total cost would be 148,000.
That's less than we're paying now.
But the premium goes up to 3,200. It's a big jump
Big
between the
jump.
gold and the silver.
I wouldn't do silver. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the benefits of getting people to work. I mean, don't have.
So if it goes up to 183,000, it'd be going up $33,000.
It's 2 cents on the tax. Right?
Yeah.
But
We're
there's a
insuring more
12,
people.
but with a 12% increase as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad idea, but
That's not.
I do think the insurance is it's a huge benefit.
Well, it
I
draws
mean, how upset would employees be if they knew, if we made that change? Well, you're a town employee, you,
$10
As it is, I don't
different,
really
yeah.
use it, it's all.
But it's like $10 difference. You're not going to the doctor every day. If you go even once a month, you don't pay 40, you pay 50. I mean,
a little bit more money out of people's pocket when they use it,
right,
but they're still not paying for the insurance.
At
The
all.
town is, right,
Yeah.
so it's still a good thing for the employees.
at school, we were asked to pay 16% of ours. But if we wanna keep it so they don't have to pay, this is a benefit. I mean, there may not be a raise this year because we have to pay so much in insurance.
I mean, I paid $400 a month when I worked for the bank.
I know.
A month.
I know. I pay $200 a month and I'm retired. I know, with my two insurances, it's more than I paid when I was working.
And then script and.
as long as, you know, I mean, I don't see where employees are gonna get mad and quit because they went from a platinum plan to a gold plan.
Yeah, we've always done the best.
Kinda like gold better.
Yeah, I'd rather have gold than platinum.
I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart, I mean, you're gonna save $27,000.
So it would be the silver is,
And it's still good insurance. I mean, a $900 deductible is, I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's,
not if you're really sick because your bills are in the hundreds of thousands if you have to go in and have an operation. So that's not much. You can pay it $25 a month, you know? I'm for the gold.
I'll make a motion I'll make a motion to change the town employee insurance from the platinum plan to the gold plan.
And do you want me to put in the
Starting-
motion the amount of money? You don't have to say it, but you want me to put it in?
For a
It's gonna vary,
savings,
it's gonna vary.
for a savings of
20.
between $25,000 and $30,000.
probably gonna need to have your guys come in someday and, cause there's gonna be paperwork to make this change and it's not gonna be huge, but
Do you need to have someone from Blue Cross come here in November to do that, or you have to resubmit the paperwork and at that point they'll know we're making a change, or?
I think I just submit the paperwork making the change, but everybody's gonna need to sign it and, I think that's all I got to
Just have them
do.
come up first thing in the morning or something.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, I think that's everything I had.
That's it, Alan?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Carolyn?
Well,
Come on up, Carolyn.
Wow.
I am here again for the water problem at the church in the parsonage, Methodist Church, and Methodist Parsonage on River Street. I had a lengthy talk with Scott the other day, but
This, Scott?
yes, but nothing was really solved, right, Scott?
No. Don't know what the problem is still to this day, but really, I don't.
How can we get to find the problem? That's what
I
I want.
don't know if it's been an ongoing problem right along.
It hasn't been, that's our problem. It only started December or January of this year. We didn't have a problem before then.
Did you plug the drain that was?
Yes, they did.
Did you get water
Now
still?
we've got water on the lawn.
So it started December of 2018,
Yes.
last year, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a big plug in it. It won't come out, that's for sure.
Well, that shouldn't affect the water on the lawn any.
Where is that pipe coming from? Do you have any maps?
No.
How come?
Don't ask me, not that I know of. We don't have any maps of the storm
Daryl
drains or
have
the old
any?
sewer lines.
I think there's,
Yeah.
I have no idea where they would be, but I think there are some old, Daryl might know.
Like
So
the
you
old
plug-
sewer lines.
So you plug in the basement, is a
In-
drain?
In the basement of the Methodist church, there in the front right corner of the church, there is a pipe coming down, which it comes from upstairs, so that isn't a problem. We're looking at the front of the church. In the right front corner, this pipe comes down and it goes, this is a water well that sits about this much below the cement floor in the basement. And this pipe comes down and it's right into the cement. This is all cement in here. Then the basement floor is all cement. There's a little drain right here, smaller than these two pipes, that is a drain. This pipe is where all the problem is. We don't know where that's coming from. And all around this pipe the other day, there was sand and silt built up maybe this much around that pipe. I took a shovel and a 5-gallon pail, I got rid of it. Scott suggested I make a plug to go in this hole because when it rains this year too much, this water just boils out of this hole and that's what floods the church. And this drain isn't enough to take care of the water that's boiling up here. That's the problem. Any suggestions?
Could there have been some type of a footing drain around the outside of that building that's
Back in them
connected?
days.
But why
It's
has
connected.
it, it's
Hasn't
just
done it
like
till last year,
it's
she
just
said,
like the
though.
parsonage, it's never bothered before.
Maybe something broke.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to find out. And it was our understanding that Daryl was supposed to get a bigger camera for the
Right.
parsonage because he couldn't get through with a small one.
Well, he said he'd have to bust that pipe to get into it, is what he told me.
What
Yeah.
pipe?
The one in your
Church?
Yeah, the church drain. In order to get into it, I guess, the way he explained it to me.
This little pipe?
No, I'm thinking the one you figure's an abandoned drain or whatever.
Oh.
The big one you're getting water back through.
I mean, I'm more concerned at this point, now that I've plugged this, than I am with the parsonage. We've got a brand new furnace in there, which is gas now, and we put it up on the first floor, so it's not even in the basement anymore. But there still is a water heater down there, and as far as I'm concerned, Clint went out and bought 2 more sump pumps. And the parsonage has one of these water things too, and there's a drain in that. And when the water pours in there, it will not, that drain will not take care of
The day
the
I
water
was down
coming
there, there
in.
was an 1.5 inch stream of water just coming right through the wall of that parsonage place.
I know, but Scott, that isn't what's filling the church, the
no, it's
parsonage up to 3 or 4 steps going
Well, it was
upstairs.
boiling right through like an inch and a
Well-
half stream of water, boiling right in through
In
the
the
wall.
parsonage, there's now 3 sump pumps to take care of the daily. And I don't think that's what we need to do. We've got to find out why all of a sudden we've got
The only
problems.
thing I could see could be is the storm drain of the sewer is just getting overcome and not taking it, and it's backing
Well,
back to the
After I
place of
talked to
least
you the other
resistance.
day, I called Gary Shover.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Gary, I need some information. He does know when you're looking at the church from the road, there is a water catch, a grate right by the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one toward the back of the lawn. And when the water goes through that pipe to that front basin, it goes, he said, directly under the road to another pipe that goes
out
to
into
the river.
Right.
And he said he knows that the pipe coming out of the the parsonage is a separate, it doesn't connect with that one at all.
It shouldn't, not coming out of the basement.
But he doesn't know where it goes because there isn't any map.
I was gonna say, they're probably old drains that went right to the river, I would say,
But it
years ago.
seems-
Even the sewer went to the river years ago.
Yeah.
But it seems all of a sudden there's got to be something broken somewhere that's causing all the problems. I mean,
I
that
don't-
storm 3-4 weeks ago, there was 10 inches of water on the basement of the church again. We never seen that before in my years.
Can't let that freeze, the same thing will happen that happened at the Episcopal Church last winter.
If that pipe goes to the river, like it might have years ago, now it's probably plugged with tree roots, because, the tree roots will go right through the pipe. I've
That's
had to
right.
replace a lot of drainage in the field just because.
Well, Gary,
Or just crushed. It could have been old cast
well,
iron pipe or.
the monks down on River Street are having problems too, but Gary said that's a whole different deal. That crosses, and where those trees are, that was the problem some years back. The
Right.
roots went through the pipe.
Yeah.
That
I
happened
was
at
gonna
my
say,
house.
we changed the one down on the riverbank, almost directly across from the parsonage out behind Lamos's house. Last year, we were down in there fixing that pipe, cause it was.
Was there
broken
water
out.
coming out of it?
Yeah,
Maybe it's the-
And I know there's a lot of water coming out of that bank. That's a swamp out there.
oh, I know it is.
Well,
And-
Alfred put drainage in there a few years ago.
And we have put drainage in there,
Right.
but it's this one pipe that I just showed you, that's in that pipe that I put a piece of birch in there. That's the question, where that comes from. No idea.
So now that that's plugged off,
The church is dry.
yeah, there's no, you're
But
not
it hasn't
having any
rained out.
issues anywhere
No.
with anything.
But that pipe that I plugged off is a 4-inch pipe. And then the drain on the other corner is about this big. And when the water boils in there, it can't begin to take care of it. So I don't know where to start, but I wish somebody had some ideas of what to do.
The only thing you do is dig outside and follow where that line goes. That's about the only solution I can think of.
Now, are you talking church or parsonage?
I'm talking the church there.
Okay. Whose responsibility is that to fix it? Whatever's there.
If it's
Say
our
it's
pipe or
ours when it
yours.
gets to the street, but from the street back to the church, I would say would be yours. It's the way that's kinda
And
written
that's
in the
why we
bylaws.
would like to know with the parsonage, who needs to fix it? Or who can find it? I don't,
Can Drummond come and see if, they usually can tell
We're getting
us.
backfed with water from somewhere and we don't really know where, apparently. It's,
Well,
But
that
why-
hill is all water.
Yeah, but
Well, I know.
but
why hasn't it bothered before
Before.
this year?
But the lawn, you said the other day when it rained, that the lawn was soaked and it never has been before?
I don't know that. See, that's why I walked out there the day I saw you and it was wet in the back right corner, but
It rained all
I don't
night.
know if it's been that way or not.
yeah, well, when we were down there back this summer, when it was getting flooded, I walked out around back and it was just saturated then.
Yeah.
It was
The
just-
surface
Well, we-
water.
We
Yeah.
put all
it rains a
new
lot.
drainage out back and.
Alfred did, I know,
I know, he
That should be all
did. We
right.
spent quite a bit of money.
right.
And does that go down around the footing of the building?
No, it's up more of a surface.
I think
It's up on the top.
That
He
is,
put most of the drainage where the bank comes down before it levels off, and I think you'd have to ask him, but I think, he run his pipe to the catch basin.
yes, he did.
Catch
Yeah, that's
basin.
what he did.
But
He
they're not
went
very
from the
deep.
back catch basin to the front catch basin. That's all new pipe through
Right.
there.
But if your drain in your basement is connected between those two catch basins, and he's now, I mean, when you put drainage tile in the ground, you're picking up a lot of water that's going into that catch basin and may have never made it to that catch basin before. It may be overwhelming that, and that's why it's backing up into the building. When did he put the drainage in?
That's a few years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Can you
was
tell with a
when,
camera or what? How can you tell?
you can tell where that pipe goes if you bust it and get a camera in there and go with it, I guess, or
You want it
go out
busted?
till you can't go anymore.
Right.
Right?
I'd have to say it goes right across the road and out by Lamus's house that he owns there and
Probably
right into the river.
Well, that's where the line is, that's where those catch basins go, right through there, is right in over the bank into the river. You know, once the river gets so high, that water can still back right through those catch basins, once it's up, you know, like
Right.
springtime level.
Mm-hmm.
But it
But why did
hasn't,
it
shouldn't be
only
doing it
happen this year?
I don't know.
Because
that.
something broke this year.
I
Exactly.
don't know if it's when the ice was jammed up in the thing and it was backed up, the river was backed way back then too, or?
I don't know.
I know when that ice
So
is
just
jammed
tell me
up.
what we need to do. I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. If that line is abandoned and doesn't do anything good for you, I would block it. If water's coming back in and flooding your cellar. Cause I would say it's an abandoned sewer line is what I would guess.
Probably the way.
Okay, now,
It probably goes
I can
directly to
see
the
us
river.
digging that up to see what the problem is, if it's the church's problem. But if it isn't the church's problem, where do,
Then the town will have to deal with it. Yes. The only thing you could do if,
I'm more concerned about the parsonage at this point. We've got people in there trying to live there.
Mm-hmm.
And you open the cellar door and you've got water 4 feet deep in the cellar. That is not good.
I was in the cellar when it was flooding the last, well, not the last time maybe, but one time and it was just boiling right through the wall, just
Through the wall or through a pipe?
through the wall.
Really?
See, that is a rock wall over there with cement.
Right.
Right.
But the church basement is all cement, all the way around. Do you think we could get Daryl with another camera down there? What would that prove to the parsonage?
The only thing you can do is tell maybe where those pipes go, or if they go into the sewer line, or,
See, the town should know that. The village should.
well, they went through during the 70s and put in a new sewer line, and a lot of the lines that were supposed to get capped off and discontinued never were.
There's gotta be some maps though.
I don't think it'll
In the
tell you a whole
70s,
lot, but.
that's, I mean, I wouldn't say in the 1800s, but I'd say in the 70s, they must have
It's
done.
kind of hard for us. I mean, the sidewalk is right out front of the church, the parsonage.
Parsonage,
Because you
yeah.
have to dig that up too, probably.
Unless you had Daryl send the camera up, find a pipe where it comes out in the river, and see how far the camera will go.
Yeah, but the storm drains all work fine out there in the street. When you have those
Is
big rain
it,
things,
is it
they're
possible, but there aren't any trees around there.
well over the bank.
Bank
there is.
there.
Yeah, I know, but you said they're all right, the drain's all right on the
was. We
riverside, but
put
around
no
the
piece-
parsonage, there
There's
aren't
no
any
trees for roots.
Well, some, but
Uh,
usually it's those willow.
There are
Right.
those big fir trees, but that's on the front of the parsonage, and the drains are all on the back front corner of the parsonage.
Mhm.
So what should we do? That's what I'm trying to find
Well,
out.
I don't know. You got a low spot and the water's gonna go to that lowest spot, but I don't know what has changed. That's just hearsay as far as I know. I don't know what's changed. All our storm drains are working fine. The sewer line seems to be working fine. It's just when you
Is
get a
it
wicked.
possible a part of the drain has broken?
It could be something collapsed or broken or coming apart. All that stuff happens. But I don't know why you would get water back through the wall. It's just so much surface water there, it just goes to the cellar. I
But
don't know.
Scott, that surface water's been coming in there for years and years and years.
I don't know if somebody up higher has changed the diversion of the water or something up on that bank that puts it right down on you faster or differently or something, or, I don't know.
Oh, I don't either.
Maybe when it's raining, we'll just have to go down and maybe walk up in the bank and out back and see where the water's all coming from. I don't know. I don't live there.
Well, the thing is, there's a blockage somewhere, I think, but I don't know where, and I don't begin to know where to look for it.
Well, even if there's a blockage, there's no drain, cellar drain, supposed to go into a town system anyway. It's all supposed to be sump pumped out onto the lawn. According to state law, it's not supposed to go in a sewer
Or the river.
or the river. It's supposed to be pumped on the lawn. So it has to be sump pumped no matter what, if you're getting flooded.
Would a regular plumber be able to go in there and tell you anything? I mean, when all the roots went in my pipes, I had to dig them up.
They will go through the roots.
I mean, the plumber came and he said, you need to dig up these roots, and I had them all, Alfred dug my whole lawn up.
And as far as the ground being wet and the water seeping through the walls, that has nothing to do with the drainage pipes.
Maybe you got a crack in the wall.
If the
Well, it's a stone wall and it just
Yeah, I
comes
mean, it's
through the
gonna come
stone.
through.
Okay. This didn't prove much, did it?
No, it didn't. I'm baffled myself, so.
Well, we are too. And as you know, we're not a church with thousands of dollars to do stuff with.
So is there any resolution of anybody gonna do?
We'll
anything?
figure it out,
You're gonna figure it out.
I guess. Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. I don't know. Seems to be a ongoing thing. It doesn't. I remember in December when we had. It was when we had that thaw in December. That was the night that it happened the first time.
Something.
It's been every time it's rained hard since then.
Well, I did have to have my whole thing dug up. The roots get in, I mean,
Yeah, they do.
and, then the town, I mean, I did my roots right to the sidewalk, and then Gary, they gave him some pipe and stuff to help out, but I had to do it myself.
How are you gonna see if there's any, you gonna ask around if there's any?
Well, I can ask Daryl and keep trying to figure it out, but I can't figure out what's going on. I think they're just low and all the surface water's going in the cellar.
And the land changes.
And that's like a river coming down that.
Would it hurt
hill.
to get Daryl? I mean, he's in town every day. He's getting paid by the town.
That's right.
To have him come up here and have Carolyn and Scott and
I think you need to do something.
Carolyn, Scott, and what's the other
Daryl.
guy's name? No,
Oh, yeah, Jason, just something like that.
no, the guy who's involved with the church,
Oh, Clint Holmes,
Clint Holmes.
go down and look at it.
I don't know. I'm just
Do
suggesting.
you want to set it up?
I don't think the problem's gonna run away.
I can meet with Daryl and figure out when we can go down and try to
Try and
get in
call
touch with
Carolyn.
Holmes and
Okay.
figure it
Well,
out.
Carolyn
Try to
can
figure
call
out
Holmes.
something.
Just call her. I think she needs some
Oh,
kind of
she'll be in
answer.
touch, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know, I think that was it for her, so I think we oughta,
Well, I mean,
have a meeting.
The next step would be get Daryl involved.
right, just have a meeting.
He's been here
See
the
what you
longest
do.
dealing with the water. Okay.
So I'm gonna say we're gonna set up a meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll give Carolyn a call and tell her.
Okay. Carolyn, Daryl, Clint, and Scott.
Yeah.
Do you think if it was water coming through the wall, if you put some dye or something in the water, and that way, if it was water coming through the wall, it would be
Dye.
going through the storm drain, and if you see the colored water coming out across from where it empties into the river,
Thing is, I don't think it goes through the storm drain. Unless it's a storm drain getting full and then backing back into their cellars, which I thought probably that was probably part of the problem.
Right,
That's what we thought in the beginning, but
Right,
if the storm drains aren't bubbling up into the road, then they're not backing up.
they're taking water. I've never seen the storm drains not taking water down on that street. The day it was pouring so hard and everybody was out pumping water, the storm drains were working fine. They weren't even,
Well, it doesn't have far to go.
no.
You know what I mean? It goes in that catch basin and the river's less than 100 yards away.
But no matter what, even if there's drains and cellar drains or sewers, abandoned sewer lines or anything going to those cellars, they're not supposed to be putting water in them anyway. They're supposed to be
Correct.
pumped out onto the ground.
Did she say they were pumped, the new ones are pumped out on the grass? She didn't say, did she?
She didn't say.
They got two
That's
more.
where the The parsonage is pumping, well, they've stuck
Pumping
a
on the
pipe,
grass?
they've stuck a pipe over to our sidewalk now, so they're pumping it on the
On the
sidewalk.
sidewalk.
But then it goes down, goes right in the catch basin, goes in the river. I mean, even if you pump it on the ground, it's probably gonna end up going in the river
Going back.
anyways.
Gonna recycle it.
Yeah, one way or the other, it's gonna end up in the river, so.
Either way, they gotta pump it, no matter what, that's the way I see it.
Okay. Anyone have any issues with the minutes
Jock.
from
Got
October
any issues with
7th
the
meeting?
minutes? Good.
I had a few things that and Linda already changed them.
Unless they've been corrected.
I changed all the things you said. I don't know
Changed
what I was
the-
thinking of last time, it was all messed up.
You changed the time till 7 PM.
I did.
You changed, the motion that Sherry had made just that a little more clear with the what we did on the ATV ordinance. And you changed, when we talked about selling the sand, that portion, I just read it, that was changed. Where was that?
That's right, and the second page. Second paragraph up from the bottom. Determine pricing and usage of town sand.
Yeah, yeah,
Change the word to commercial instead of businesses.
yeah, discussion will be held to determine pricing and usage of town sand for commercial sanding companies as well as residents with truck sanders that need to be loaded by town employees for the 2019-20
Still
winter.
confusing, but
No, I'm good with that.
okay. Just a lot of.
Isn't the subscription price supposed to be $60?
Yes, and I changed it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was another one. I forgot about that one.
Yes, I changed.
I emailed her all the ones I saw.
Yeah, I don't know, I watched it on TV and I said, oh, I gotta change some of that. stuff.
Change the ambulance
I knew Bill
subscription
too.
from 50
What
to
new bill?
60.
For the ambulance.
Did ya? Good,
Yeah.
we were working on them last week.
This is a change copy there if you want to look at them. Someone want to make a motion to accept the minutes from October 7th meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Right?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I don't have much. I just got this, I just made those changes on that ordinance that Sherry made the motion in the last meeting. I just need signatures on it.
The four-wheeler
For
ordinance.
the ATV club, yeah.
ATV club.
The only thing I changed on there was the only thing we had made the motion to change was about having to have the two stickers.
Stickers,
And then the helmet thing is still in there,
okay.
The way it was.
yes.
And I explained that last
Okay.
meeting, so I'm just gonna say you changed the wording. I explained it in the last minute.
Okay. And I don't really have much. I have this paper, Linda. I don't know what it is. It was the green up day. Don't you normally take care of that?
It's your mother.
Okay. I don't know. It was in my mailbox. I figured.
It's your mother, if she'll do it again.
And what else did I have? Oh, I told Linda I contacted, remember I said I was gonna try to talk to the sheriff? I called him and asked him if we could have a meeting, and he was on vacation, he went to Florida for a little vacation.
Who do you want to have this?
Me. I gotta get Sherry's signature on it.
Well, you don't have to sign here, that's great, but.
And so I'm gonna have a meeting with him this week. He said maybe Wednesday or Thursday, so.
To discuss just concerns, to discuss,
Yeah,
I see we got a radar speed trailer down here again.
yeah. I'm not
probably came
sure.
after you called him to meet with him.
Well, he told me he was going to Florida, so I don't know if.
Oh, you didn't talk to him then?
Well, I talked to him, but I didn't talk
Oh,
about
man,
anything.
Put it in after, just because.
I think that's all I have unless I think of anything between now and the end, but. I don't know, should we touch base on that meeting the other night upstairs? I mean, everybody was, you were there. You were there, I was there.
Yeah,
You weren't there.
I wasn't.
sure I was.
You were there, we heard you loud and clear.
Didn't talk as much as I got.
I mean-
Yeah, I'm looking into the depot station just for the heck of it, see what we can do, if anything. I would think you'd be interested in that business opportunity. I got her, she emailed me, so I have her information.
Is there gonna be a
Still a-
committee for like the other businesses that look so bad?
I'm not really sure where to go with it from after that meeting. I mean,
I
she
know.
said that we should try to
Get a group.
get a group of people together. I mean, maybe that's the next step. I didn't know. I was kind of waiting to see. I'll give it a few days after the meeting and see what you heard or who was talking.
I haven't heard anything. I just heard somebody down in the hallway as we were leaving saying he had a consortium from Canada that's gonna build some great apartment buildings here, but
Oh
That
yeah.
rolls there over the border again.
no, it was not. It was. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm under the
I'm gonna
impression-
concentrate on the depot station.
Well, you gotta be part of the whole scope.
I'm not a team player.
But what I'm curious with that depot
I will.
station is if they will give you
John said we could have it,
the building but not the land. So I'm
right? So
wondering.
they can still pay taxes. Well, they don't pay taxes on the building, right?
But I'm wondering how that would work with a grant.
Well, that's the stuff I'm gonna start looking into. I also found a architect's report. They did an architect study on that building a few years back. I mean, I'm sure it's working.
For another.
Oh, we should drive
No,
up
it
there and
was-
look in it.
Well, that's what,
I went
yeah,
up and
20
looked
years
at it.
when Carolyn Coons and I went in, we went inside and we actually looked in it.
Did you go
And we-
upstairs?
We wanted it for the Historical Society and they wouldn't sell it, but now.
No, but I mean, did you go up the stairs to the top?
Back then, well, it wasn't, the second story hasn't been on it for years, but we went up
I'm old.
as high as we could go, yeah. And we wanted it, but we,
But it's only just the basement and then one floor now.
yeah, it used to be
Yeah.
2 floors, yeah.
If you go around the back by the train tracks, you can look in the back windows. They're all smashed out of it.
I know, that's why they wanna get rid of it. And you know, it may be something we can't do, but my thought is, even if we acquire it and we can't do anything with it, we can tear it down, because it's just an accident waiting to happen there, I mean, but she said,
But
Greta was
Well,
talking
shouldn't
about.
they be responsible for
Well,
tearing
they
it
should
down?
be, yeah,
they won't give us. They won't give you the land, but they want to give you the building. So, I mean, I guess it's going to get to a point where if you can't do anything with it, we're going to have to send them a letter and say, hey,
yeah,
you're going to have
well,
to
they've
take.
had one letter, that's why they offered it to us. We told them that if they need to do something, that's when they said that we could have it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a historic building, if they wanted, she told me that she'd gone up to look at it before the meeting, she said, we've put together worse buildings, worse depot stations. I said, well, I mean, this may not even be feasible, but if it is, and they've got the money and they wanna put it in it, we could have a welcome center, and a little museum there. Railroad museum.
My little buddy from over the mountain said, have no worries, they've got plenty of
I
money.
know.
Just waiting to
Bobby
get rid
said
of it. I
that.
said, go for it.
Yeah, I just so use their money. But,
Can I ask you a question?
No,
Who is he related to around here?
Jim Starr,
nobody, I don't think.
Bobby Starr,
Bobby Star.
he was related to Jim Starr, who used to be principal at Enosburg.
Oh,
He's his cousin. He owns a trucking company.
why'd you ask me
He
that?
did.
Because I must have been hearing things at that meeting because I should have been listening and I was, but he was talking to somebody and I was
What happens?
because I was trying to figure out who he was because they said he was from Montpelier and he seemed like he was local because he knew.
Troy, he's
Yeah, he knew
our
some people.
representative, he's our
And I
senator.
swear he said he was Durwood's nephew. And I'm
Durwood.
like, how would that be?
Durwood who?
Johnson.
No.
Well, I don't know. He didn't say Johnson, but that's the only Durwood I know.
Durwood's, well, he's a Star, they own Star Transport, the
Yeah.
trucks.
Yeah, and once.
Yeah, you didn't know Jim Starr?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew-
that's his cousin.
And I knew his last name was Starr, and I'm
Right.
like, how could he be related to Durwood?
And maybe it's different Durwood. I don't
Yeah,
know, well, he could be.
Pretty sure I heard him say that, but I mean, like I said,
He's been our senator for a long time.
yeah. I knew what his name was. I knew who he was as far as,
Yeah, I didn't know.
that. But when I heard him say he was his nephew, I'm like, how is that possible?
I got this in my head and I gotta let it come out. Can I do it before it goes out the other ear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Next
Yeah.
I got a thing from, Ango and Sharon, and they suggested that we try to get REAC involved, and
They were there.
I know, but maybe we can push them a little bit. Maybe they aren't that anxious to do it, but if we ask them, maybe they will.
Yep.
REAC and, what's the other one? I have to go look at my paper, which I
To
did.
set up a committee, you mean, to
To
start
set
looking
up a
into it?
committee and maybe, and here, you know, this is the 5th one I've been on. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I
it's
know, me
getting
too.
a little tiring.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I'd do one thing and then check it out.
But anyway.
I was gonna wait a week or so after the meeting, and then I figured that
Yeah,
Sharon would probably get a hold of me.
Yeah,
What's the other
Lisa.
Lisa would probably get a hold of me, and then at that point, gonna have to volunteer to be on another board, I guess. I
And
don't
we'll see
know.
what it comes to.
yeah, okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back off.
Why?
I mean, I don't wanna be nagging because then everybody gets ticked off and
Right.
nobody will do anything.
Well, I do have all their cards and I have her email she
Yeah,
sent
I
me,
have
so,
to.
yeah,
Yeah, I got one today, but I can't
You
remember
need
what
to-
the other one was.
look into it. Well, maybe you wanna talk to Tim Green, cause he was talking about building apartments, I don't know. If you wanna, after the meeting, I heard him,
He's gonna build apartments?
he's got some Canadian group, I guess, I don't know. I don't wanna repeat, I just overheard it, so. Maybe you might contact him though.
Okay. That's all I got. Scott?
I guess I don't have a whole lot of water and sewer. Covered that, I guess.
Yeah,
I was wondering has anybody heard anything back from the Sharons? I know
from the what?
Sharons, Ramey and,
Oh, they want it, but we haven't gotten
Have
any
we-
far forward. I would think that we should have them pay for the lawyer if we, or can we do a quick claim or?
I don't know, that's
How do
what
we do
the
that?
majority of the board wants to do is get rid
We
of
did,
that.
we
little
said it
water.
that-
Yeah, we voted on it.
Yeah,
We just gotta get the quick
so what do
claim
we
deed.
do?
Just have Joe Kale do up a quick claim deed and give it to
Joe,
him.
you're
We'll
up.
record it.
Okay, when I see Rossi tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll double check, make sure that, she really wanted it when I
Yeah.
talked to her. She was,
They're all for it.
Yeah.
I told them when
I've
we
never
got,
heard anything back from them, why, you know.
well, I think cause
approached
I
them
think
and
we both
mentioned it.
talked to them or something.
Yeah.
They probably thought we were gonna.
I
so
told
just have-
Ramey we would get the deed done and
Okay.
let him know when it was done.
Okay, I'll
Okay, we ought to follow up on that.
get it from the
then.
listers tomorrow and look it up or whatever, and I'll send, you want me to send Joe a letter? Do it? Okay. Okay, I'll put a star next to
The
that.
other thing I was wondering about, when we opened up the fountain this spring, when we took the cover off, the whole cover thing that's been made for years, that all disintegrated and
Fell apart.
it's all rotten and gone.
What can we do for it?
I didn't know what you wanted to do
Colin
about
members,
rebuilding it,
detail.
if we wanted to give that for a shop project at school or something, see if the shop kids would do it,
Do
or,
they still have shop?
I don't know
I
that.
don't either.
They should.
That's like taking a lot. Is there
It's
any?
not, would Enosburg build one?
Nicole Holker Center Hospital.
Well, yeah, we always say that, and they always have their plans all made, and then it
Oh,
never. I mean,
That's what
I can
wondering.
check.
Somebody's gotta build one or
Okay.
come up with a different tactic
Call
on
Cold
covering it.
Hollow for now. There's
I was
nothing
gonna say, I got
plastic.
pieces of it at the shop if they wanna see how
How
it
it
was built
was,
and go
okay.
by the old original dimensions. I still have a part of it. We kept it in case we had
Okay.
to build it, but.
To make cover for fountain. Yeah, it's, we always say Cold Hollow can do it, and then it doesn't always
Well, I was
happen.
just wondering
Yeah, I
if it would be a
know.
good school
It would be,
project.
it would be, but I will, who's doing, is it Goss now? You
I
know,
have
you
no
don't know,
clue.
okay.
I think so.
Yeah, he was a student of mine. And then he came back there to teach, so I'll check on that. If not, we couldn't just put a tarp and tie it?
Well, I think at one point, that's what it had, was
And
just
we
a
made
tarp.
that, okay.
And somebody made this thing and it
I
worked
know.
fine for a few years,
But of
but
course it's gonna rot.
it's just rotted now. It's,
Okay. If not, we'll cover it with plastic this year and figure it out next year, but I will call them. I don't know if they'll
well,
have
it's
time
getting that
between
time
now
of
and
year where we're
December.
gonna have to shut it down and close it up. That's,
When do you shut it?
well, cold weather, it's getting
Coming.
colder, so,
Getting close.
yeah. Another thing I was wondering about was the school plowing. I know Alan said they've approached him and talked to him a couple times about wanting us to still bid on it or whatever.
I'd like you to.
Yeah, they called,
Called you to, didn't
she
they?
called me and I pinned her number up today in front of my computer because I told her I would call her back tomorrow after our meeting tonight.
Who called you, Lynn?
Nope,
Polly. Rico?
Polly Rico, yeah. Yeah, because she's on the select board, but she's also on the school board. And the way she explained it to me was, she said that they had heard that we just didn't want to do it anymore. And she said, well,
Wanna bid on it?
we understand that what we were paying is not enough money, and that's why we sent a bid. And she said they got bids from other people and they just kind of
I knew
slid
that
them
would
off to the side because they expected a bid to come from us, and then one never came. And she said they want us to do it. She said submit a bid of what you think it's gonna cost, and
I suggested go 15,000 more there once.
35?
Yeah.
If that's too high, I would go to 30. I wouldn't go any less than that. But we're gonna make money, right? As long as we're gonna make money.
Oh, I think we need money at 20.
Yeah, okay.
You
Well,
know, if they're
then,
willing to give us the thing, no matter what.
Right.
and I say if there's things in the contract you don't like, you just say, well, we can't
Well,
do that. We aren't gonna do that.
I went through it here and just highlighted a couple
Yeah.
things that.
We'll say you're not gonna do it.
Right. You know, they got shoveling and
Oh.
snow blowing and stuff included, and we
No.
never done
No.
any of that.
Well, now they got their own snowboard.
They've got a custodian. They got
Yeah.
community service.
Says after 1 inch of snow, you automatically necessitate the plowing.
No.
You know, 1
Well,
inch of
yeah.
snow is, come on. You know, I know they had to write
Yeah.
something pretty fine
Right.
and detailed to put it out for bids.
But just say, we're not gonna do this or this, and here's the price. If you want us,
Yeah.
here we are. You don't have to get out and
Well, it'll be
shovel.
the same thing as what we've always done. and-
Right.
Okay.
Just say, do the same. Which
So
is
who
just
are we supposed to
plowing.
get hold of?
Is it
Morgan?
Polly?
Probably, yeah.
Well, he's gonna call Polly first, right? They gotta accept it first.
it's up to you. I can give you her number. I can call her for you tomorrow, and if you highlight what you want on there
That you don't
changed, or
want, yeah.
I don't mind calling her back if you want me to.
Cause it's gonna snow pretty soon. Is that all right?
I
Everybody
don't know,
happy?
I don't want it to get all in a cluster. I just want it to
Yeah,
go
just do
through
what you've
smoothly.
done before.
Never done anything before, just go down and
But we
start plowing
have,
it.
but we
No,
have.
I've never done anything to it, or about it, or
We've
never had
done the
anything to do.
school for years.
Yeah, we plow it.
Yeah, that's
all
what I'm
we've
saying,
ever done.
just
We never
say-
done anything with a bid or anything on a contract.
They tried to go out a few years back and then they came back to us because they couldn't find anything cheaper, so. Don't you hire somebody on, that's gotta do this parking lot and
We
the,
usually did
post
hire
office,
a
can't they do
person
the
for a
school?
pickup flower in the winter time.
and they do
yeah.
the school, right? Schools.
I mean, if it is a little bit crazy to let that money leave the hands of the Richford taxpayers.
That's right. Bring it back.
I mean, I know it costs money, but I don't.
Well, it's just taking it out of one pocket and putting it in the other, the way it is.
They got a bid for 25 when they opened up. I watched the meeting.
And they threw that out, but they wanna pay us more?
No, their comment was, you guys have always done it for 20.
Not anymore.
I watched
Right.
I watched
You
the
watched it on
meeting
TV?
I mean, realistically, even if you did it for 30, you're not losing money.
No, you're not losing at 20, but
30 sounds good.
30 sounds good, I didn't get it.
Yep.
No, it's wear and tear on the pickup. It's a man. It's
it's a
sand.
man
It's
we have to
time.
have
It's
anyway.
we have to have it all anyways. I get it.
Yeah,
Anything more than 20 would be fine, I guess.
anything more than 20 if we're making money at 20.
What do you think, Scott?
I'm just going along with whatever you folks wanna do. We plowed it for 20 in the past, so whatever
But I
you
would
wanna
ask,
set.
they wanna give us more, they said, right?
Yeah, she said
Okay,
we,
then.
as a board, we understand that
Gas is up,
it's not enough money.
right?
She said, especially after reviewing the other bids, she said they were all well north of 20. She didn't give me obviously no amount of what they were, but
I think we ought to take a look at our plowing for Jay too.
Well, that you might wanna give up, except for the school bus problem, right? Doesn't the school bus go around there?
Nothing to do with the school bus. Town of Jay has a town highway department and they have school
Right.
buses.
Right, but our
They
school
plow
bus,
their own road.
our school bus goes around there, down back to East Richford, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's nothing to us. That's town
So
of Jay.
that's $6,000 they pay us.
well, if our bus can't get through there though,
Well, there have to be a lot of snow if that school bus can't get through going
Especially if they
down.
go up 105 first and come down.
that's how they go.
They come up the the new road.
Yeah,
Yeah, they pick my kids up, they go
Then
right
they
up
go
by,
down.
then they come down through.
yeah.
The other
There are
day, when they
days
dropped the
when-
honey kids off, they were going the other way.
Well, there are certain days he can't go around and he'll go back
Oh.
around now. But that's not very often.
Did you ever get those guardrails put in down by the cemetery that Robert asked last year?
You just wanted them raised. We
Oh, okay,
raised
but they
them.
raised them.
We raised them.
So you
So-
wanna not do that, not do J?
I'd like to revisit it and at least see if we're getting treated fairly on the plowing, on what we're charging.
6,000, right?
I gotta look, I don't remember if we got that money this year. or not.
You had to bill them. Remember, we have to actually send them a bill.
Right.
Do you want me to call you and just give you that lady's telephone number
For the
for the school?
school plowing, I think we can do it right through Morgan Daybell. He's a finance guy. He's the one that contacted you,
As long
right?
as they
He's the one
approve it.
looking for it, yeah.
Right.
So
So
Alan
probably
will,
we'll
Alan
go
will
through him.
contact.
So I'll have to just call her and tell her that she told me to call her on Tuesday after our meeting.
There you go.
So you want me to just call her and tell her that you're gonna deal with Morgan?
I guess, if I don't know how we.
We need an amount though,
We better decide on an amount.
right?
Well, try it at 30, see what happens.
Negotiable.
Well, that is negotiable. That's 10,000 more than we're getting now.
Yeah.
I say that, 30 is fine. So you're gonna call Morgan.
I agree with it.
You're gonna call, one of you will call Morgan, okay.
We'll get together.
Yeah, you get, your people can call his people.
Must be getting late. Everybody's getting punchy.
Not really, it's only 8:30.
That's-
Okay, so we got that, and we're not gonna talk about Jay, or we are? Should I mention that or not? You wanna revisit, or?
Did
our
we
plowing
revisit it
for Jay?
last year? Did we talk about that
I
already?
think you raised it a couple years ago, didn't you, from 5,000 to 6?
We got a chunk of money because we hadn't billed them for a few years, and so we got $30,000 last year,
A couple of years
a
ago.
couple of years ago.
We raised it though, didn't we? Didn't you go over to a select board meeting?
I never have, no.
We weren't here.
They weren't
In
here.
March though, we were still plowing in March. I remember we talked about raising it to $6,000, I
That's what
remember.
it is
I
now.
think it is 6.
It is 6.
I don't know if that's enough for what we do. That's the issue.
Right.
That's just the plowing. If you do other road work there, they pay
They've been
again.
taking care of their own.
Okay, so, but we used to
Summer
do some.
maintenance.
Summer maintenance, yeah.
Mhm.
I
It's
don't
still
know.
washed out from the last rain we had 3 weeks ago.
Well, so what do you want me to say about that?
We're gonna revisit it. I'll call Harold
Okay.
Morris and
Revisit the J plowing. Okay.
There's no way we could come up with a number and just throw a number at them and say, hey, listen, for this much money every year, we'll maintain that strip of road and you don't have to come over the mountain?
I would.
Is that a
I'll let
possibility?
them keep doing their summer maintenance. We got problems with, well, it wasn't summer maintenance. He verbally told us to go ahead and sand Virgil's Road, which is a class 4 road. And then after we sanded it twice, we went to charge them
They
or
wouldn't
bill
pay.
them for it and they wouldn't bill us.
Well, they
He
should,
verbally told us to go ahead and do it, but
that's a private road, right?
it's class 4 road.
So, okay, but they
don't
need to pay
maintain
for it because
class
it's in
4
J,
road, no.
right?
Right.
Well,
But you normally don't maintain a class 4 road, period, but
Right.
they give you a verbal okay to do it and then
Then they
they
wouldn't
wouldn't
pay.
pay us for it?
Right. We had 2 or 3 sandings on that road, they wouldn't pay us for it, so.
don't sand it again.
Oh,
Let
we
let
don't- we
Virgil
don't-
deal with
We
them.
don't sand it again,
Right.
that was 2 years ago, I guess, we went through
Let
that.
him talk to him.
But if you think of the length of the stretch of that road, what it costs to have your driveway, just your driveway plowed and sanded, do that whole road plus the Bell Road,
I know.
you chew up $6,000 in a hurry plowing.
Well, you don't
They
plow
don't plow the
Virgil's.
Bell Road.
Well, the Funny Farm Road.
You do plow
I
the
mean,
Funny
yeah,
Farm?
that's what I'm calling the Bell Road.
Yeah.
That's the Bell
The-
Road.
It's not the
That's
Bell
no
Road.
fun either, that.
No, it isn't, it's up
It's the-
further, yeah.
What is the name of that road?
North something, north.
Funny Farm Road, I call it.
Well, the Funny Farm's up there.
I think that's what the name was before.
I remember when the Funny Farm
That's what we
came.
always called it. I don't know what the name.
Do you plow
Probably the Night
straight when you
Road.
get to the Funny Farm Road? Do you plow straight through where isn't there another place down right
No,
before
you-
the little brook?
You turn it around by the
No.
Skidoo Trail.
That's
You know,
private.
that's private.
Yeah.
But it's hard to turn around right there. It's not a very big
No, it
turnaround.
isn't.
No.
It isn't.
Okay. Sherry's not here. She just called me, and so I stepped out. She said she
Wow.
had an emergency.
Oh, it's okay.
So, Linda, you got
Okay, I haven't
anything?
got much either. They cleaned up the parks, the cigarette butts in the park again this year. We have volunteers that come up from Tobacco Coalition. They said in 2 hours they picked up 867 cigarettes in Fountain Park, the sidewalks, downtown, and Troy Street to the rail trail. And they said last year at a similar point, only one volunteer picked up 407. But that was just in the park. So they said this is the third year in a row the park has had much less tobacco litter. So that was
a good
good.
thing.
Yeah, they come and do it, and it's
They're all vaping.
what?
They're vaping.
Yeah.
You can't throw them on the
They got that
ground.
down at the park in Pittsburgh. They don't allow vaping. I thought maybe you were picking them up and using.
No.
You know.
No, well, and they do
And
that
they
too.
desperate- yeah,
they do that,
They
so
clean
that
up
might be why
themselves.
there's
I know.
less. I never
I know.
thought of that.
It's true. Tracy Heeman's gonna do the lighting in the park again this year. We're gonna take, just to let you know in advance, a little money out of our celebrations budget. I don't know how much is in there right now. I think you said they took the fireworks money already,
I
right?
got a little over 1,000 left.
That's it? Okay, so we may need some new lights. I don't know of any other celebrations between now and December, so I think that use
Tracy
500.
said they're gonna replace the lights with white lights.
With the LED lights or whatever, yeah. So she's gonna do that. She's also gonna have a magic show for kids here. This is December 7th. I haven't gotten word yet whether they're having a concert. Nobody's called me, but she's doing the magic show the same night as the lighting, which will be upstairs. The logger is gonna be here October 26th upstairs. Mr. Falcon's gonna be here the week of November 4th through the 9th upstairs, so everything's booked. Parks, playgrounds, I mean, it's almost the end. I'm gonna close up. I'm gonna call and get rid of the portalettes. I don't know when soccer's over though. Does anybody? I never get a schedule.
I think it's pretty much
It's done, so I can take those out and have the last garbage pickup.
We're gonna have Nick
I was just gonna say.
close up that
Nick, I
building.
already told him and he said he'd take care of it, so I didn't think I'd call him again, but
Okay.
let him know. Have Nick go down. I can't think of anything else for that. They're all, did community service, painted all the bleachers and all the benches and everything. Got that done. Cemeteries, I was looking at, what cemetery was I looking at? Oh, up in East Richford. I may put in a little grant to get some of those stones repaired. I didn't realize, we did some a few years ago. And I did Troy Street this year, so I'll try to do East Richford.
My grandparents is the only one in there that's white.
My great grandfather's is the red one.
Oh, yeah?
With the round on top, yeah.
Who
Yeah,
owns that anyway?
we do.
Donald.
That looks good.
Yeah, Donald does it. But I did, when I was walking around up there the other day with my daughter, we saw some, I mean, I think there's some that are made, I don't know what they're made out of, but they're crumble. They're not a stone like granite or marble. I don't know what they made them out of, and I don't know if we can fix those, but
Is
it's
she
almost
done-
like they're eaten up, huh?
Is she done entering all of the plots into this,
Supposed to be,
so we can get a copy?
guess so.
I'd like.
Yeah, I've talked to Kim, has she done that one yet, that cemetery? I don't know. I haven't had an
Been working
update,
on it for a year or so,
more than that.
more than that, yeah.
No, so you'd have to ask her. Yeah, it would be nice, that cemetery though is full.
That one's full.
Yeah, unless you have a plot. You have 5, yeah, well, they can cremate you and throw you in there.
Me and a best friend.
And a best friend. I got a few, but
In the East Richford one?
No, oh, no, South Richford.
we're South Richford. I'm talking about East
Richford
Richford
Center.
Slide.
Oh, no, I'm not over there.
No, I didn't think I saw you there. I got them over here too. But anyway, I got nothing really.
Jacques, you have anything?
Yes, did Joey Clark bring any sand yet, or no?
Not that I've seen.
And then the other thing is, I know you mentioned earlier you wanted to stay on the 4-day pay time-wise, but from my point of view is, it might be more overtime doing it that way, because you gotta be there on Fridays for the school bus too, right? On Friday
No,
mornings.
if there's weather, yeah. If there's not weather, you don't have to be.
How come you're not doing the Fridays now? It's supposed to start October 1st. A couple people have asked
We
me.
were trying it, see what it would do if we went year round with it.
Because we did vote on that. That was a voted issue. We probably
Voted
should
issue.
have voted to let you keep. I mean, it's in the thing. Because people were asking, and I thought you were working.
We were supposed to be having discussions to see if it would work year round, and Alan and I discussed it, and I guess I was gonna bring it up here, and I just haven't.
So we're doing it now?
We
Yeah.
discussed it today with Alan too there. Some, you know, my point of view is, seeing that you almost have to be there Friday mornings anyways, before the buses are, just to make sure the roads are not slippery and stuff like that. You know, they might run into,
Doesn't matter to me
no,
either way, really.
well,
The guys asked if we could stay that way, and I said, I don't know, we'll talk about it and we'll go into it and see.
Well, if you work 40 hours Monday through Thursday,
Anything over that's overtime.
you're gonna have to come in on Friday and work. You know what I mean? If it,
That's
let's just
automatic.
say we had a week where we didn't get a lot of snow, and there was if you only worked 8 hours those first 4 days, then Friday wouldn't be overtime.
right.
But a lot of times, I'm sure it's overtime
But you have
anyways.
to work to get your 40 hours. You'd have to work Monday through Thursday to get 40 hours. So,
During the winter, we usually start at 3:30, 4 o'clock anyway. It's not like we're
Right.
starting at 6.
Right.
no, you're getting overtime anyway. But if you add an extra day to that, I can see where because now it's Saturday and Sunday is definitely overtime. It would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Like mentioned it with Alan today, you know, we try it, if you want it that way, we can try it for a month or something like that, see how it works out, but, you know, my point of view is there's gonna be more overtime being paid by doing it that way.
You think?
I don't think there's any way to quantify that. I mean, you don't know what day it's gonna snow.
Right.
You don't know.
I just don't know.
Yeah, and one thing you could do if you really wanted to stay on the 4 10-hour days is, keep a pretty good eye on the weather, and instead of working 10 hours on Monday, it might not snow, there's not a lot going on.
Take that time off.
Send everyone home at
Right.
11 or noon and say, "Well, go home," and you're gonna be short hours. So,
You'll be on call for weekend storms.
yeah, but it just becomes a lot of keeping track
advanced
and
thinking. Yeah.
exactly.
And then if it didn't, you know how many times they say we're gonna have a storm and then we don't, or vice versa.
Yeah,
Right.
That happens, you know, it could be ice, could be,
it doesn't affect me if they work. It doesn't. I guess it's up to them as long as it's not costing more money. Like you said, maybe do a trial and error and see.
depends if it starts snowing in November again like it did last year,
Oh,
so
there's
early,
still
remember that?
Last year it never left.
No, it didn't, that was.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get overtime anyway, but,
Yes, you definitely get overtime.
yeah, that's part of the. Part of the thing.
Or like during the 4 days where it's supposed to be 10 hours, once if everything's all cleaned up in the afternoon after 8 hours, you go home and then you have that extra
2 hours.
day for Friday.
But then what if it doesn't snow
Yeah,
that week, and then you're
yeah.
only 38 or
Right.
35 hours,
Yeah.
and you're like, I want to at least get my 40.
Right.
Correct. That's how I see it too.
Just sounds like it might be a lot of paperwork, head paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Doesn't matter to me one way or the other, if we work 4 days or 5 days. I like the 4 days in the summer, but in the
Yeah.
winter
Well, the
time,
summer
I don't
we-
think it even matters.
No, you're gonna work all the
I
time
agree
anyway.
with the 4 days in the summertime, yes,
That's fine.
basically, that's what I would like.
You got
to-
that daylight, you can do extra work in the summer, but not in the winter.
Well, could we just make it where they stay on the 4 days until, I mean,
November.
we've had years when you don't really have any
Till the
much
first
snow until
December,
Christmas.
The
Yeah.
first snow.
You know, last year it was November
Early.
2nd and it was
I know.
snowing.
And bad
It
snow.
never stopped.
Bad snow. I don't know. I don't care. You wanna do that? Try it through until the first snow.
It's all right with me.
I think that's a compromise.
Yeah,
They're gonna have, the rest of this month and maybe some of November.
right.
But then when the snow.
When's our
comes-
plow truck coming? Is it done yet?
Still waiting for a dump body. Supposed to have been here the 23rd of last month and still haven't seen it, but the truck's here. The truck's been here for all summer, just waiting for a dump body.
Can we call them, put a little pressure on them?
Well, I called them. There's supposedly 9 dump bodies behind the last time I
No,
called them.
mine.
Because we don't have a truck.
Well, we
Well, you
got,
got the
we
old
got
one,
the
yeah.
old.
Thought Virgil
upper
bought
truck.
it.
Well, we got the other older one than that.
Then there's a really old one.
It's got
No, we
that,
gotta
But they
sell
still
a new
work.
one. We gotta sell the new ones because they're junk. We keep the
You
old
keep
ones.
the old
They
ones,
go.
exact, same with the fire trucks.
That's over the hand cranks.
the old one's got the sander on the back there.
Yeah.
The one they use for chloride.
We do have a truck.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Are you gonna hire on another man, like we always do, like,
Well, just maybe some sprayers, but
you're not
we're gonna
gonna,
have to get somebody to plow sidewalks.
okay. You aren't hiring.
I've had
one.
a couple people ask me about plowing sidewalks.
Okay, so you are gonna hire an extra full-time?
Do we have
Doesn't
a,
have to be full-time.
We don't.
do we have a, can we, like, just so I know in my head, you guys must know who's plowing what, who's going where, who's,
Well, unless something has changed, it's gonna be,
Slow down, I'm gonna write it down.
I'll be doing South Richford.
Scott, South Richford.
night, Joanne.
Night, Joanne. She didn't listen.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Matt will be doing like Pinnacle Road, Abercorn Road, Golf Course Road, that area.
All the outskirts?
Well,
No.
that side of the bridge.
Oh, okay, that side.
Lance will be doing McAllister Road, Rose Hill, and South East Richford and Stevens Mountain.
Wait a minute, Rose Hill, that's not you, that's not South Richford?
No, I get blamed for it, but it's not my road.
Okay, where's South Richford, where's South Richford?
South Richford's my road.
But where is
Anything
it?
above the
From the McAllister Road,
Up, that's
Yeah.
South, okay.
and Jeff used to do up the hill, up the McAllister Road, then out towards
towards-
Jacob's farm, around back to town.
No, that's my road.
That's his.
Oh yeah, he used to go up and yeah, he'd go up.
He does Casey's
So
Road.
where's,
He had the East Richford slide road.
Yes, yeah.
so who's doing who's Slim? What's Slim got?
I'd say the village, unless something's to change.
And then Kyle,
Kyle will be doing the pickup plowing
he'll do the pickup.
until he gets a license. Then if he gets a license, I wanna start breaking him in on. the
Has
other-
he gone to get, to see about it?
Has he got an appointment yet?
He had his drug test
Yeah.
done, so he can make an appointment.
Now he can go make an
now.
appointment, yeah.
I don't think he has as of yet, but
I got
he's only
the,
had
yeah, I
like
got the
today.
result back today, it was fine. Did they do 2 that day?
One,
Oh, they're supposed to do another random one.
he wasn't here.
Oh. Well, then they didn't do it, they were supposed to do, they had said they were doing a random and I had called about, oh, okay. Cause I only got one reply.
So normally when you hire someone, they would do what Kyle would do, right? The in-town plowing.
That's normally what the part-time person does, yeah, the pickup plowing. But we got Kyle for this year, so we gotta hire a part-time guy to do the sidewalks, which Johnny used to do.
But he didn't have a plow route.
Johnny did.
No.
He did
had
the sidewalks. That was his
Okay.
plow route.
That's all he did was sidewalk.
So you're gonna hire somebody to do the plow route?
Do the sidewalk.
Alright, that's what I meant, the sidewalks, yeah. So you're hired, but part-time.
And then
What we were wondering about, if we didn't do the school, we thought the same guy could do the pickup and the sidewalks.
Right.
But now if we're gonna do the school again, that means we gotta hire a part-timer.
Okay.
okay.
Well, we have to wait and see if we're gonna do the school too. We don't know
Well,
for
it
sure.
sounds like we probably are.
Okay.
Chances are, I mean,
Now, what if people have complaints on the way that the roads are being plowed? Who should they address them to? Do you ever,
Yeah.
you know how like certain roads they wing it the wrong way when you could wing it the other way, and you're not winging it in people's driveways? I've had a million people complain to me about that.
People want you to go along, pick the plow up in front of their driveway too.
Well, you don't in front of my house, you plow me
Well,
right
how
in.
much plow? You might as well stay home and not plow if you're gonna go around and pick up the plow at every driveway.
That's what my plow guy does, is clean out my driveway.
first of all, the snow falls everywhere, it's not just in one spot.
Right.
I think snow should each get half of it, but that's
What
not
about
always.
at your Casey's? When they go down, they go around that circle.
Well, normally they don't even have to go around the circle, they just do. Usually
just
the
certain-
nose out,
there's just
going over
certain
Baker's
places
and
where it's-
back around and take off and go back up the road.
So if we
They
get,
usually alternate down to my house. They'll plow it around one way one time, next time they'll plow it the other way. That's the way
so
Gary always did it.
if we get complaints, who do they call first, you or you?
He's the boss.
Call Jacques. Okay, Jacques, you're gonna have to answer your phone.
I do.
I've already had people asking me, you know,
I know,
It's like-
me too.
not me, don't call me.
They will.
I'm not answering.
They will.
Grove Street. That's a big one.
They will.
Yeah.
Just want to plow that with a pickup. Nobody wants the snow there.
No.
They all park in the road and they want the snow to go somewhere
Well, it's
else.
hard to call Scott in the snowstorm because he's out on the road,
Right.
first of all.
But you gotta come over here and all on the radio.
Yeah, so you
Truck radio.
might as well call Jacques. You like calling on the radio? Okay.
Then they call me, then I have to come
Roger,
down here and call
10-4.
Scott.
Might be easier just to get Jock a
You
radio.
got a phone now and gets in the truck.
Right?
I don't have a phone.
It would be easier if Jacques would answer the phone. Just
I answer my
answer.
phone,
There's a reason for that.
okay? I
Okay.
tried calling Andy twice today, he didn't answer his phone because his voice box full.
Oh, it's,
I don't have a voice box. It
that's why it's phone.
Whatever your,
hasn't been set up.
Voice box hasn't been set up yet.
no.
Yeah.
But I've been working out of town and I don't have any cell service and I like it.
Well, I'll get calls here, so I'm gonna refer them to you because that's what you said, from Jacques first, then Scott, if we can find him. Cause he'll be out on the road. Then Andy.
Okay, I was just curious how that worked and who was plowing where, because I've had people ask me.
Guess they're planning to complain.
I already went over to the police.
Sometimes if people got questions, it's just nice to bring them to your attention and maybe you can work it out. A lot of times if you live at a certain place, you don't, I don't know, you just, sometimes you have to think about how you plow. Some people don't.
I have something on that if I can ask a question.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Go ahead. You got 5 minutes if you want it.
So just give me 1 second. So back last year, last year's a little harder, but the years before we always had Gary that knew when we were out on an ambulance call or a fire call went out.
Gary who?
Right.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who's gonna be, somebody gonna be able to be listening in when we go out this year so we can get plow trucks?
Lance is on the fire department,
So
so
if
he'll
we
be
could just-
covering. They had a discussion about that last winter with Lance.
Okay, I was just
Sanding
bringing
and
it up.
being on the fire department and Sandin or
You
whatever.
got the same frequency radio,
Yeah.
right?
Same, yeah, we're all saying, I just wanted to bring that up.
So
to
if
make
you had
sure.
a call in the middle of the night and it was snowing and you needed a plow truck,
Gary used to beat us out the door with the plow truck.
but Gary's not here anymore.
Right, I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying is, we didn't have to
He'd
call
know,
anybody, he would
Cause
just,
he was on ambulance, okay.
they would
He's
just
on
look
fire.
out, yeah, they would
On
just look
fire.
out the door and if there
Just
was
do it.
snow, he would just go get a truck and head right where we were headed for and plow us in and sand us. It's worked out really good before. That's all I'm bringing that up for.
Okay. Did you get an answer, or did you ask a question?
I just
I
wanted
just
to
have your
get,
name,
huh?
I just have your name down, did you ask a question?
I just wanted to know if there was gonna be somebody
Well, Lance,
by
Lance
for
is
us.
on the fire department, he has a beeper, he hears the calls, but.
You got Lance for an answer.
Okay, Lance, got it.
But does that mean every call Lance is gonna go out and plow for him?
No, not necessarily, no.
That's what we're gonna, like, when there's that's our big problem, middle of the night, if it's, we have 4-wheel drive ambulances now. We have one, and the next one hopefully will be 2, but if it's really icy, we have trouble, and we need to kind of have a number we could contact.
Mhm.
So if we needed a sand truck,
So maybe you should get
848-7404,
Is that Lance?
that's me.
You can authorize it, there you go.
It'll take me a few minutes, but I can get there.
There you go.
okay? So we'll get that off the dispatch so they can get all of them then. He's gonna be sent.
That means I'm hungry.
Was that you? You want a brownie? You want a brownie?
I know.
It came from that way.
They're really good. They're really good.
Think that's it? You good?
Is this anything that we have to come down for tomorrow?
Webinars? I don't do webinars.
I picked that out of my,
Mailbox, I didn't get one. But you're the only one that has to go.
oh,
What is that something you put in his mailbox?
Oh, I put it, I think, in everybody's mailbox, in case you were interested. It wasn't
Yeah.
to say you had to go, but in case anybody was interested.
What is it?
I haven't been to my mailbox again.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I didn't get it.
Alright.
Mail.
Make a motion to adjourn at 9.
Well, I just wanted to, yeah, I can just say it after. So.
he's hungry.
It's not an issue, I just wanted to know if you saw something in the email tonight, but I don't wanna bring it up. Yeah, motion to adjourn, Linda.
9 p.m.